been kind of busy all weekend, so I'm going to blame lack of sleep and stuff like that on my behalf, okay? Speech making is not my forte, so I apologise in advance for this. So I'm going to start by welcoming you all here today. So ladies, gentlemen, scouts, scouters and relatives of the men we honour here today, I would like to thank you all for your presence here. It is only right and fitting and just that today, on the 100th anniversary of the ending of World War I, that we are here to unveil this plaque to all the soldiers from the Iveragh Peninsula who served during this period, and especially those that gave their lives fighting for this country and the rest of Europe. There may be more names to be added to this plaque in the future as research is still ongoing, but today we are here to honour the 56 men's names that are on this plaque now, and especially all the men from the Sneem area who fought in World War I, and particularly the 9 who lost their lives in doing so. Further copies of this plaque are also being erected in all the towns and villages of South Kerry over this weekend. We would especially like to welcome the relatives of these men who are here today, and you can correct me if I'm getting the lineages here wrong, but there are grandnieces and grandnephews of John Hussey, the Casey family, grandnieces of the John Finnegan, the O'Shea family, the Tatala Post Office, grandnieces, grandnephew and great-grandnieces of John Nash, who have travelled all the way from the USA to be here today, namely Dennis Reardon and Noreen Morris and families. So you're all welcome. A little side note is a member of each of those families will actually be helping in the unveiling of the plaque later, okay? So we'll come to that in a bit. Thank yous. So on behalf of everyone involved, I would like to thank Noel O'Shea, Cahir Daniel and Albert Walsh Waterville, who helped compile the information for this plaque. We would like to mention Dan Downing, RIP, who wrote an in-depth article in the 2006 Parish News about the local men who served in World War I. This information was used to compile this list, and to John V. O'Sullivan, who was also involved in the research of some of the names. Thanks to everyone that helped here today, to Maura Egan, who allowed this plaque to be placed on her building, which was in fact the original Royal Irish Constabulary Barracks in Sneem. Thanks to Batty Burns for his recitation, which will be coming later. The Scouts and Scouters for participating, particularly those that are going to be reading out names and doing some poems. Patrick Casey and co who helped install the plaque. Lisa for the photographs, and Stephanie, Kevin and Martin for the music. A special mention also for Eddie Mulcahy, who played the bagpipes, which themselves, however, have a unique connection with today, as these bagpipes were actually played in the trenches at the Somme in 1916. Eddie bought these bagpipes from a gentleman called Tom Kennelly from County Wexford in 1950. Tom was one of the trench pipers, and their job was to play the soldiers into battle. One of the things still left on Eddie's bucket list is to take the bagpipes back to the trenches at Somme and play them once more where Tom would have played them over 100 years ago in 1916. We also have on display here today John Hussey, John Nash and Michael Lee O'Sullivan's World War I medals. Michael is a brother of Thomas Lee, whose name is on the plaque. Thanks to John Jamie O'Sullivan, Vincent Casey and Noreen Nash, who kindly brought these medals along today. World War I was the deadliest conflict in the history of the human race, in which over 16 million people died, including almost 7 million civilians. The total number of both civilian and military casualties is estimated at around 37 million people. It is estimated that between 200 and 200,000 Irish men served in various armed forces during World War I. They came from all backgrounds and corners of Ireland, Protestant and Catholic, Unionist and Nationalist alike. Of these brave men, between 40,000 and 50,000 of them lost their lives, with countless thousands suffering horrific injuries. The men and women who served in the First World War endured some of the most brutal forms of warfare ever known. Millions were sent to fight away from home for months, even years at a time, and underwent a series of terrible physical and emotional experiences. The new technologies available to First World War I armies, combined with a huge number of men mobilised, made the battlefields of 1914 to 1918 horrific, deadly and terrifying places. We cannot comprehend here today the brutal conditions these men endured in the trenches, or the horrors they witnessed, but at the events like today, we are given the opportunity to remember these men and to honour their great sacrifice, courage and idealism, by which they helped lay the foundations for the freedoms that we enjoy here now. So as we stand among the monuments and statues of our sporting legends, Johnny Egan and Steve Casey, and the political figures with Sneem connections such as Farula Dawlig and Charles de Gaulle, we now take a moment to remember the brave heroes from Sneem that fought in World War I. So if the scouts that have the names of the various men could start, we'll just take a moment and bow our heads.
John Nash Rossmore, John Hosey Wilcogen, John Finnegan, Anakale Canla,
Thomas Lee O'Sullivan, Skahanagar,
Joseph Mansfield, Jim Moore, Sneem,
Patrick Burns, Police,
John Brown, Sneem, Thomas Fitzgerald, Tahila, Sneem,
Michael O'Sullivan, Sneem,
So we're just going to have 3 poems now from the lads here.
Irish Soldier by Cornelius O'Mahony from Bandring, County Cork. They are gone, with their memories shall cherish our brave boys who perished and crossed over the bar. Over their graves now the wild hawk cover in the lone grey jungle of wild Southern Bar. In the highest good spirits, they went through the gardeners and scattered their rifles over the hills atop. Not knowing their days were numbered, on the sulphur winters when the regiment arrived in the wild Southern Bar. Shot down in their gloom, with no fan of mother's voice to console their last moments, far, far from their homesteads in the wild Southern Bar. May they rest, unhallowed and spoiled, though their graves were cold beneath the long curtain. Yet their presence is missed from the ranks of the monsters, and heroes who slumber in the wild Southern Bar.
Guys, I think this might be just a tiny example of what the men may have suffered. So we might have to just bear it for the moment.
was the first time that came around. That we made outdoor
Guys, listen. Joe, where are you? Can we get some video? Yeah, I think. If we can get